Yankee and the Brit's the place to be. Radio living is the life for me. Airwaves spreading out so far and wide. Keep your FM, just give me that internet side.
Online is where I'd rather stay. I've got a lot of music to play. I just adore a Yankee view. Darling, I love you, but give me a show to do.
The Chat.
The Brats.
On air.
That's fair.
You are my wife.
Goodbye, British life.
The Yankee and the Brit on air. Kimberly Smoak on the line with us. Hi, Kimberly.
Hey, guys. How are you tonight?
Doing all right. You sound like you're pretty cheerful.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to be on you guys' show. I've been following you for a while, and you both have such wonderful personalities, and I was really tickled to be invited. Niecy Howard set it up with from Ecoda Records, and I was like, sure, let's do this.
Well, as long as you're not scared, we're all right then.
Don't be scared. Randy don't bite that hard.
That hard? He just nibbles a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm getting too old.
Oh, my.
So how are you, where are you, and what's going on in your neck of the woods?
Okay, well, I'm wonderfully blessed. I am living wonderfully blessed in Missouri, the Show Me State, and I am preparing for the Josie Music Awards in Dollywood this year.
You and a lot of other people. What do you think?
I am excited. I mean, wow, independent artists having our night to shine.
Have you been to the Josie Music Awards before or watched it?
Oh, yes. In fact, if I caught you right, the Hello Hallelujah Debbie Kelly song that you just played,
Uh-huh.
her and I got together and, let's see, Kim M., myself, and Doc McCready wrote that song. We took it to Debbie Kelly. She laid down the vocal tracks with her production company, and that won Gospel Country Song of the Year at the Josie Awards 2017. Woo-hoo!
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So that was kind of cool whenever because my home computer is at a business that I'm consulting for, so I didn't get to catch the show, and then I was trying to figure it out on my phone. But anyway, I was like, hey, this is a sign. I'm supposed to be here tonight.
Must have been a pretty big surprise then.
Yes. Oh, my God, yeah. Because the year before I went to the Josies, and I was up for Songwriter of the Year, but wasn't that well known, didn't have that much stuff out. Just, I'm a combat vet, so I have a little bit of PTSD, so getting out and networking was kind of a struggle for me, and the music has helped me learn and grow, and I've got a big music family now. So then the second year came around, and we got an email, hey, you guys are nominated for Gospel Country Song of the Year, and we're like 14-year-olds. and the picture they took of me when I jumped up, when they announced Hello Hallelujah Country Gospel Song of the Year, I mean, literally priceless. It was like an out-of-body experience. I was like, oh, my God, wow. And then I saw the picture, and I'm like, yep, that's how I felt.
All righty. Hey, let me take a second here to thank you for your service, too.
Oh, I appreciate that. Not a problem. I'd do it again. Thank you.
Oh, good. That's nice to hear.
Yeah.
How did you, or how old were you, or how long ago was it when you even got into music at all?
Well, that is a good question, because we're asked that quite often, and I've never really had the answer until a few weeks ago. Well, actually, it was two months ago. I was working with Ty Hager out in Nashville to put together an EPK, and I was like, man, that's a $1 million question. And I got to thinking, well, it's always been inside me. It's always been there. It's part hereditary, part upbringing. That I've always had music inside me, and then I guess the first time I wrote a real set of song lyrics was in 93, 94 after my son was born, and then the first time I recorded a song was April 28, 2010, and that was just pretty cool. So I'd have to say I took the leap of faith in April 2010. That's when I took the leap of faith and went straight to Nashville and said, okay, it's all or nothing. And then I got it all. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Has it all mostly been a gospel-style music?
No. I started out writing whatever popped in my head. How's that sound? Whatever popped in my head.
That's fine.
Straddle That Fence is a country song from Male. This Fish Ain't Biting is like the reply to Brad Paisley's I'm gonna miss her. So it's been mostly country, though. It really has. And then Kim M. out of Dallas, Texas, contacted me and said, hey, could you help me structure this and get it recorded? And I was like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I love it. And me and her and Doc came together, and it was just an incredible song. And it was led by God. And then I still write some country, and then I came up with another gospel country song. So I think that's my niche right there. Neck of the woods. I'm loving that part of it. Yes. So I'm all over the place. I guess that's how creative people are.
Your parents, did your parents sing when you were little, like way little?
Mom played those 45s and 72s in the house. Yeah, and sang in the house all the time. And my biological father was a guitarist. Yes. So that's why I believe in hereditary, because my son, who had never had a lesson in his life, to my knowledge, I had to go in the hospital for a little bit for PTSD, and he picked up the piano and could play it by ear. So I believe part of it's hereditary. Yeah, he can. Oh my goodness, my son Jake is just this amazing piano player. I can't play. I can play the cowbell and the triangle.
Well, those are easy ones. You should try the drums with rock and roll. Nobody'd know the difference, probably.
Yeah, I could just get up there and just lose a little muscle control, and nobody'd ever even know. It'd be great.
Do you write a lot of your own stuff?
Yeah. Yes. Sorry. Yeah, country came out of me there. I'm originally from Oklahoma, so that you never lose that. But yeah, I've had a couple of co-writes. Opry in Heaven with Keith Strag. Me and him wrote that one. And Bo Hazard, I don't know if you've heard of him. You need to check him out. He recorded it and just did an absolutely fantastic version of it. That's Bohazard. But starting out, I wrote all my own. I don't know if it was just my babies, or probably because people scared me because I was in the Army and they scared me. But I'm better now.
That's good.
Yeah. So what are you guys doing new? What you guys got going on?
Just being us, trying to survive.
Right. Yeah, you guys are in Texas, right?
Yes, where else should you be?
Yeah, with our very own sign business. We keep busy with that, and then it's bums on chairs on a Friday and Saturday night and a Sunday night.
Sweet. I lived in Texas, and my son was born in Texas at Fort Hood, around Killeen.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, Texas, yay. What part of Texas are you guys in?
North Texas, about, 20 miles from the Okie border.
Near Wichita Falls, Texas, maybe?
No. Goodness gracious, no. That's, no. Back to Eastway, over, you know where Sherman is? That's just outside of Sherman, about 15 miles.
Sweet. Right on. So how'd you guys come up with the idea to have a radio show, Donna?
Well,
she didn't.
Yeah, you have to blame the husband for that one. He
I've got to blame him for everything.
Well, yeah. That's
all we're good for.
Yeah.
It's one day I just clicked on this link on Facebook and it was a radio show, an internet radio show. I'd never even heard of internet radio before, so I just clicked it and
mind you, this was 5,000 miles.
Be
from
quiet!
Here.
I'm talking about you, not to you.
You take too long.
Anyway, I clicked on this link one day, and started listening to him, and we got chatting, and I just adored him from the off. I just thought he was the best thing since slice of bread. I think different now, of course. You know, the slice of bread is much more better and much more intelligent than my husband.
Right, because you can always put jelly on him and make him taste better, right?
Exactly.
Her slice of bread is now oldie and moldy.
Oh, no. Oh, that is so cool. So you moved over here.
Yeah. Fast forward 3 years, and I got my backside
Longer
out
than
here
3
to
years,
listen.
Ethel.
3 years of chatting on the internet. 3 years.
Wilma.
Well, we used to do these skits. We used to do these like 10, 15-minute skits online. It come from the Bickersons, if you've ever heard of the Bickersons.
She wasn't even born then.
Like from 50s radio, these little skits, and they were so funny, and we decided to act them out, but we used different names, and my name was Ethel, so every now and again he chucks the Ethel word at me.
Oh, okay. Well, I know about the honeymooners and, Lucy. I love Lucy.
Well,
so probably something along those lines, huh?
Yeah, the Bickersons were way before any of that. But, yeah, it's basically the same kind of like the honeymooners stories, where they just bicker and argue about silly things.
Right.
Oh, but some of those scripts were so funny, hilarious.
When we first started doing them, it probably took us, 3 or 4 hours to do 20 minutes worth because about 90% of the time she wouldn't stop laughing.
Oh, how fun.
So, yeah, we've had a good time, and I come out to meet him in 2014, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
And the rest is history on radio. Yay!
History, all right. I did what most people call real radio, which now they refer to it as terrestrial radio, but I did that in the 80s for 3 or 4 years. And
like the AM, FM?
Yeah, when the internet finally came along, and somebody came up with these apps or these software that you can do radio shows online, I was like, yeah, I want to go back and do it. Now I can do it my way without anybody, telling me you got to play this when you got to do it and you got to do this and blah, blah, blah. So now it's just, I'm the boss.
At least he thinks he's the boss.
Well, I let her think she's the boss.
I said, when really our dog is the boss.
Yeah, my cat, boy, she runs a house. We just pay rent here. I understand.
I can understand that.
Yep.
That's the same way it is with Sir Alfred.
Yes.
Yeah, she's an only kitty. So it's like having an only child, and quite demanding. But the sweetest, lovingest cat you'll ever meet, but this is her house. And that's it.
You might have actually heard our dog on the radio. He comes on the show with us every now and again. Hang on a minute. Let me get him. Alfred!
Okay.
Alfred!
What?
Here he is, look.
Here he comes. Hello.
Say hello to our guest, Kimberly.
Hi, Kimberly.
Now, Kimberly.
Hello, Alfred.
Now, Kimberly's not a poodle. She's only got 2 legs.
Oh, what's wrong with her? Is she okay? Yeah, she's fine. Don't panic.
She's all right. She's only got 2 legs, but there's nothing wrong with her.
She's a human.
I'm okay.
That's okay. Is she all together?
Oh,
Yeah, she's got it all together. Okay. Can I go back to bed now? Yeah, go ahead. Just wanted you to say hi. Bye, Kimberly. Thanks, Kimberly.
Good night.
Night. Well, that takes care of that.
There you go. Alfred the radio dog and the Yanki and the Brit. Anyway, we are supposed to be interviewing you.
Yeah.
You, not us.
Oh. Well, I like people to hear about who I'm talking to, too. That way we can get to know each other and develop a bond. And we do have a lot in common. I mean, Texas.
Yeah.
Yes.
What part of Missouri are you in?
Southwest Missouri, in the corner, by Joplin and Springfield.
Oh, yeah, okay. You're up there. You're in tornado country.
Yeah, I went from Tornado Alley to Tornado Driveway. Because Oklahoma's a Tornado Alley, and then whenever they can't find an alley, they go into yeah, that was a bad day. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it sure was.
That was a really bad day.
Were you there when that happened?
No, I was living in Oklahoma. I moved to Missouri in 2012, And I tell people that I was on my way to Nashville, and my car broke down in Missouri. And I couldn't go any further, and that's why I stayed.
I think I'd have pushed it back. I think I'd have pushed my car back to Texas.
Probably. But no, but I'd heard about. I'm only like 90 minutes from my hometown, and while I was there, home. Oh, heaven forbid. Done forgot. Anyway, this home show came over and helped them build houses. And we got to volunteer to come over and help build houses. And little did I know at the time that I would only be living 20 miles away from where we helped with a major national disaster. So I drive down that street to a billiards pub where we play pool at, and I see every week what those blessed souls, unfortunate souls, had gone through. And they're rebuilding, though. They're Joplin strong. They're good people, and they're rebuilding, and they've made a good comeback from what they've been through.
Very slow and long process, isn't it?
Oh, definitely, and politics, unfortunately, always plays a part in it.
Ugh, yeah.
There was several taken advantage of, but Joplin's government's getting it all squared away and taking care of them the best that they can.
Good.
And in such a situation as that. But Missouri welcomed me with open arms, and I've lived a good life since I got here. I hadn't. What was I going to say? Oh, I don't know, but it sounded good in my head.
So long as it sounded all right, it's the thought that counts.
Okay, you guys would have liked it, I'm sure.
We'll wait for it to catch up with us.
I have a question for you while you remember what you was thinking about.
Okay.
What do you think of the new generation of country stars and the industry today?
Well, that's it's not touchy. It's somewhat difficult to answer because it's not our traditional country music. It's not something that I 100% enjoy. It's not my style, so to speak. But I know these people put a lot of hours into it, and they do put time into it, and they have to pay their dues in a way to get where they're going. So I don't want to take away from their art, but at the same time, it's not my country and Western music. It's anybody who has a drum machine or a vocal tuner. You can just throw together a bunch of sounds, and to me, that's not music.
No, but you have to convince Nashville of that.
Yeah, and I just don't see that happening. A lot of the arguments are, well, country music started out as rock and roll.
No, it did not. It did not start out as rock and roll. It started out way before that.
The bluegrass. I believe it was bluegrass.
Jazz, blues, all that stuff.
Blues, yeah. I just wish they would call it something different. Get a different class. They've come up with pop. They've come up with alternative. They've come up with metal. Give them a different genre, but move it away from what 90% of the population would consider country music.
Yeah, but if you do, if you do that though, how do you get people? I mean, Nashville cranks out. I don't like any of it anymore. It's
right,
like you said, too much pop or rap stuff or whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to bite my tongue.
Too busy for me. You can't. Yeah, it's too busy. You can't enjoy the instruments. You miss the message.
Yes, but people tune into that though. So how do you get people to tune out from that and tune back in to like all these great independent artists like the ones we have on the show, the ones we play? How do you get people to change their way of thinking? That's what we need to do, is get them to realize that you're not listening to real music. You're listening to stuff,
Yeah, and that's where you guys, the internet radio stations, come into play. That was my train of thought right there, by God. Without you guys, my music would have never been on the radio, except for that one time that I paid to have it on during a Veterans Day parade. You know what I mean?
You paid for somebody to play your music?
In an ad. in an ad.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah. But they played the whole song.
But still, you shouldn't have to pay for that.
Right, yeah. So that's the only time that my music has been on mainstream. And there's a lot of great, fantastic songwriters and artists and vocalists that use real instruments and tell stories in their songs. And radio stations like you give them a place to be heard. How can we change their minds? Well, if they're flooded with all that mainstream stuff, then we have to find a back door, like you guys, to get to them. We have to find a back door to get to them.
Let me say that I agree with you 100%. That you're right, and this is one reason that we do this, because we love new music. I grew up in the '70s with rock and roll, Van Halen, the Stones, the Who, the Guess Who, and then through the '90s I got into country, and the music was great. And of course, I had grown up now. When I was a little kid, Mom had Jim Reeves and Gail Garnett and all these old country records that I remember when I was a kid. So now I enjoy Willie and Waylon and Merle and all those guys. That's all good stuff. But now we have this great independent music that relates to that, the way it's made. But what we don't have is people pushing the internet radio stations that are playing this stuff. We don't have anybody, and I don't mean we just like me and Donna, but I mean the internet stations. There isn't anybody that promotes these kind of things, that puts time and effort into telling people, look, you can go here and you can hear real music, leave the Nashville stuff behind. And that's a lot of the problem right now, getting people to pay attention to us. Right.
And the social media is basically been the only way to find out about these, social media. That's how I found out about you guys. And I remember for a long time, when Facebook first came out, I was like, no, it's a government conspiracy, and people are stupid, and I'll never be on it. And now, look at me, I'm all grown up and got 3 Facebook pages. But it's how you use them and what you use them for.
But it's very hard to get people to share things and talk about it, because they hear a song, they like it, but that's about as far as it goes.
Right. Unless they have a vested interest in it. Like if I hear a song, I'll share it or post it. And unfortunately, you guys didn't get the best of my promotion, because my home computer company leased my brain for a month. And when they leased my brain, they got my computer too.
Yeah, but you're also one in how many hundreds of thousands of people that are involved in it and look for that kind of thing. Most of the general public, I think, is just like, hey, that's a great song. And, I don't think people, when we were young, we used to say, wow, have you heard that new group Van Halen? Boy, they can really scream. And you tell your friends and you pass it around.
Right.
And I don't think, I think the internet and Facebook and all these other social medias have ruined a lot of that, because people have gotten so political and argue with each other that they're missing the good stuff.
Yeah. Or so-and-so didn't like that, and I've never heard the song before, but since John Connor didn't like it, I'm not going to like it, and I'm not going to listen to it. Yeah, I see where you're going with that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you this. Too. Have you ever been starstruck?
Starstruck? What do you mean? Like
Was there somebody that, like, let's just use Shania Twain for an example. Is there somebody that makes your eyes sparkle and you're like, wow, I'd love to be like them, or I wish I could sing like that, or why can't I be that way?
I can't believe I've just spoken to the Brit from the Yanki and the Brit show.
There we go. Donna Bradley.
Yay!
That too. But have you ever been starstruck by anybody?
When I was younger, when I was little, Reba McEntire.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
McEntire made my world go round. Her and Conway Twitty.
There you go.
Yeah, they were just like, and I cried when Conway passed away. And then I seen Reba on stage. Well, I didn't see her physically on TV on the awards show on the 25th anniversary edition. And I was just like, that's my girl. There she is. Yeah, I think she'll always be an icon in my music history. Absolutely.
That's what I was looking for.
What's your earliest musical memory from when you were young and had really tiny legs?
Really tiny legs. I'd say my youngest would I don't remember having tiny legs. I was pretty chubby and fluffy. So,
Chubby and fluffy. Was you a rabbit?
fluffy. I was fluffy. I was a rabbit.
Okay.
I'd say after the top 40 countdown on the weekends. I lived in a really tiny town in Oklahoma called Lenapaw, Oklahoma, and there's like 250 people there. Well, 249 because I don't live there anymore. But it's a very teeny tiny town that still has dirt roads and no stoplights and a post office and a volunteer fire department. The 3 towns surrounding it. Okay, I'm going to get back to the question you asked, but I'll finish the sentence so I don't forget. South Coffeyville, Delaware, Juan, and Lenapaw were all teeny tiny towns, so they had to close down our school and consolidate just to have enough people to have a school. That's how little our towns were.
Did you say that town was called Lenapaw or Menopause?
Menopause.
Just wanted to be clear on that.
Yeah.
Menopause, isn't that something that us women go through when men annoy us that much that we
Yeah,
start to
it
get
all our
grumpy?
problems.
Oh, will you get off the men thing?
It always starts with men.
Yeah, menstrual cycle,
Yeah, well-
menopause,
Right.
Yeah, but listen, don't
mental
forget,
illness.
there's also the word women.
Yeah, and that was your fault too.
Yeah, whoa, man, slow down. Whoa, man, you need to stop that. Whoa, man.
Women are crazy.
I just made that up.
Try again. Do you intend on staying as an independent?
Yeah, I'm not putting myself down. I have decent vocals. I do. And I do enjoy singing my own songs. But the past couple that I've written, I didn't write them with my style in mind. I wrote them for someone who could, hit those notes that, I don't know, maybe I could if I took vocal lessons, but sometimes you've got to pick one or the other. And I'm at the stage of, I love songwriting. I love writing. But these past couple of songs I've written with other people's vocals in mind. And the next, Nisi sent it to you, Kneel at the Cross. I wrote that. It was like, oh my God. I didn't write it. God wrote it. And it's just everything that I've felt inside about the American flag and saluting the flag as a combat veteran and about why can't we all just get along. And I knew that it wasn't my song to sing, it was just my song to write. And I got hold of Debbie Kelly and passed it on to her, and she just did amazing vocals on it. She just, I got goosebumps. I love her vocals, and I love hearing her sing my songs.
You think you might just eventually just be nothing but a writer then?
I think so. There we go. Yeah, because I got all excited about talking about my song and forgot what you asked me. Okay.
No, you were doing fine. That was fine.
And she forgot my question as well.
What was your question?
You forgot your
Earliest musical memory from when you were younger.
Yeah, we did.
Dinky
We went around the mountains, sitting at home. Okay, earliest musical memory was, but since it was such a tiny town and there was nothing to do, the top 40 Casey Kasem's countdown would come on every Sunday, and we had this old just a little plastic dial radio. And it had to be set on Mom and Dad's dresser just right in the corner of the house to get reception with the window open. and that's my earliest musical memory, was listening to the Casey Kasem Top 40 Countdown on a plastic turn knob radio.
Why do we imagine you sticking your head out the window with tin foil on you and the radio in your hand, just trying to get a good signal?
Well, back then we didn't have towers, you know what I mean? A tower to me was the water tower downtown where whenever it opened, everybody... Anyway, sorry, I'm country.
Sounds like your town was so small we didn't even have any tinfoil.
Didn't napkin full. Didn't have a store to buy it from.
You have any very important rules that you live by?
Very important rules to live by, yes. I like to live by loyalty. Loyalty is a big character trait for me.
Royalty?
Loyalty is a character trait, being loyal to people.
Oh, loyalty.
Royalties would be nice at this point. Yeah, royalties.
No, I thought you meant royalty like I like to be treated like a
Money,
queen.
spondoolies,
No.
royalties.
No, loyalty.
Okay.
I'm very loyal to a fault. Let's see, what are some other rules that I live by? I try and treat everybody good, and I try and not make a public spectacle. I believe if you have something to say to me, take me aside and talk to me about it, but don't say it out in public.
Yes,
Just a few
thank you.
Natural rules of, I don't know, I guess I think they're just in general, but they're a lost work of art nowadays. Loyalty, respect,
Privacy.
general human courtesy.
Yes.
Professional courtesy, I think, is long gone. Reaching out and explaining to somebody what you're going to do before you do it to make sure they know it came from you. Oh, just things like that.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So do you have any advice for your future self when you are rich and famous
And royalty.
and royal?
In royalties, whenever I'm royalty, yes, always remember the people that helped you get there, and make sure you invest a little and take care of your family and your children. Yeah, definitely invest it, and don't get too big for your britches, because then that cuts off your circulation, and then you look like a funny bunny.
Yeah, especially men when they wear trousers that are too tight for them. Spoils their family jewels and all
You're
that.
doing it again, Ethel.
Yeah, Ethel, I told you.
What do you do? What do you do to relax? You got any hobbies or anything?
Oh, relax. I would say billiards. I met my husband playing pool, and I was singing karaoke, drinking beer, and playing pool in that exact order. And he took like fourth in the nation in tap nationals like 5-6 years ago before I met him. And I figured you can't be married to somebody if you don't know how to play pool. So
That's a very good rule to live by, I have to admit.
that's a very good rule. You get somebody that good, you probably should at least know why a round object can make a perfect 90-degree angle.
And if he can aim for a pocket on a pool table, he's going to manage to get his pee in the toilet bowl.
Right? Yeah. How can you three-rail bank a ball with low right English, but you miss the potty?
Exactly.
How does that happen? I just don't get it. The hole's bigger there than it is on the pocket.
Be a sweetie and put up the CD.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have any heroes?
My heroes have always been cowboys.
Well, then you ought to be in Texas.
Here, I don't know. I just think people who do good and continue to good and help other people, those are my heroes today. And Jesus Christ.
Good
He's
deal.
a pretty good hero.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Do you remember the name of the first album that you ever bought?
The first album that I ever bought is the Highway 59 Bridge Street song. I'm feeling groovy, na 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 na.
Oh, yeah. God, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, feeling groovy. Oh man.
Wow, that's a classic.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the first one that I ever personally bought. I thought the 59th Bridge Street song, I think that's what it's called.
Yes.
I mean, such a hippie pop, happy-go-lucky, I'm feeling groovy. Yeah.
So is there a point in your life or any influences or something that's happened in your life that has defined your style of music or how you write your music?
Well, I think she answered that earlier.
Did she? Well,
Yeah.
I've been in and out the
okay.
room.
I know. Well, if you sit still for
Inquiry
a
minds
minute.
want to know. I wandered off and got some tea, too, so maybe I didn't, maybe I didn't answer it to her.
Not to her, but everybody else.
Yeah. The moment that defined me, it was April 9th, 2012.
Oh, come on. You know the date?
Oh, yes, I do. I know the exact date that defined me as a songwriter and artist. I had been betrayed by people who I extremely cared a whole lot about. And it broke my heart. I mean, I cried for like 30 days. I was one of those ladies that walked around in her bathrobe. Because it really hurt. It broke my heart. I'm a sensitive person. I'm not a stupid person. But, sometimes your feelings do get hurt. And I was just sitting there and I was crying. Oh, my God. And I was like, you know what? I want to do something that makes me happy. I want to take care of myself. It's okay not to take care of other people, but I want to do something that makes me happy. And I got on the computer and I looked up the Bluebird Cafe and I found Steve Goody, Pitch Perfect Recording Studio. And I said, well, if he's on the Bluebird Cafe site, he must be pretty good. And see, that was April 9th. April 28th, I was in his studio and recorded my very first song in country music. So, yeah, that was the exact moment that defined me. Yes, sir.
Well done.
Wow.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. It's one of those things that you never forget. And you're thankful for it because it was a good lesson, and you were able to forgive the people. It didn't make it hurt any less at the time, but it came in useful.
So do you go out on stage and like sing in bars or concerts?
Past couple of years, I've done veterans events. Was it the Independent Music Awards in Topeka, Kansas? It was their first year. It's a hip-hop awards. It's support hip-hop, and they invited other genres. And I was like, I was just crazy enough to get into that. Yay! Pick me. And I went up there, and we had a blast. I got to do a set on stage. I did some Reba, some Patsy Cline, and some Lady Antebellum, and I just had a blast doing it. There's just something about getting on stage and just, you get to express yourself and you get to talk to people and you get to tell them a story all while they're dancing and having a great time. So, yeah, on occasion I get up there and give it a go. Yes, I do.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I see a major artist picking up one of my songs and cutting it and putting it on their CD.
You just keep thinking that.
Yeah.
One, two. It's going to happen because God said so.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I see. And I'll, pick up a couple of other awards along the lines and write a few really great songs for the independent artists to sing and make a few million off of. So big plans, really big plans.
So we should be able to tune into the CMA one of these days and find you getting an award for writing such and such a song for so-and-so.
Absolutely. Don't count me out in that one. There's a really cool story, speaking of that. One, I was in Nowata. I just moved back to Nowata, which is near menopause. And
you'll never call it by its right name again, will you?
No water and menopause.
And I was watching them, and I said, you know what? One day, I don't know how, I don't know when, I am going to be at the CMA Awards. And by the grace of God, the next year my friend bought me tickets and we went and watched the CMA Awards. And so then I set my sights a little higher. I figured, hey, if I can say I'm just going to attend, imagine what would happen if I say one of the artists is going to sing my song and they're going to get an award for it. So, it just might work.
Why not? All you got to do is believe.
Why not? Absolutely.
That's pretty cool. So do you have any an EP or CD or cassette, 8-track, anything out for sale anywhere?
I probably have some reel-to-reel out in the garage.
Well, if you have an old reel-to-reel player, I'd like to get it from you.
Okay, let me dig around in Dad's old stuff.
Okay, cool, because I could use one.
I do have my cat. It's called, what is it called? Bless my heart. Cowgirl Rockabye is available for download on CD Baby, Amazon.com, and my website, Kimberly Smoak, SMOAK.com. You can find all my music there. I have a CD Smokin', SMOAK
Smokin'.
Smokin'.
Obviously a Facebook page, no doubt.
Yes, I don't, I just don't know if my music is there. It's all over. I'm Googleable. You can Google me and you can pull up all kinds of stuff.
I'm Googleable.
Googleable, is that a word?
We have a T-shirt for sale on our T-shirt page. I think it says "Google that shit." I think is what it says.
Exactly. Sorry, I just was really stupid.
Well, all you gotta do is go buy it. That would make me happy. That wouldn't be so.
Okay.
That wouldn't be so stupid.
No, I thought of something really funny to say along those lines. It was just kind of like, you know, whenever you meet people and you're like, you're a little weary of them, you'd be like, you know, what's your website? You know, like you're interviewing them.
What's your website?
Can I Google you?
What's your website, man? Heck, Google that shit.
Yeah, there we go.
If anybody asks me, can they Google me, I'll say, yeah, but let's go in the private room and do it, you know, not in public. We'll get kicked out of here for Googling.
Yeah, I like to be Googled with feathers.
Woo, we ain't going there.
Me and Randy Googled once in Home Depot. They didn't like it.
You like those shower faucet heads, right?
Oh, yeah.
Don't believe her. She likes to go into the lumber department.
Yes, there's lots of wood there.
I love stiff wood.
There's pictures on my Facebook of Randy walking around with a big giant bit of wood in Home Depot in between his legs.
Oh my God. And you have a variety of color to choose from.
Well, the best ones are treated.
Exactly. They're the safe ones.
Yeah, because otherwise the sun gets to them and they all shrivel up, and we know how that works.
You don't want anything warped with a knot in it.
Well, I can always untie the knot if you want to get personal.
Okay.
You won't be able to stop yourself from peeing then.
Ethel!
Oh, dear me.
God, I hope you choked on it.
Goodness. Oh, wow.
All right, I got 10 questions for you, and then we'll let you go.
10 boring questions.
They're not boring. Stop
They are
saying
so
that.
boring. 10
Out.
boring
Out.
questions.
Out.
What?
10? There's 10?
10.
10. Can I tell you a little story about the number 10?
You can tell me a little story about number 10.
Okay. So, I was in Nashville, and I was recording my first CD. And it was basically a demo CD. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was like, "Oh, hey, I'm making music. It has to go on a CD, right?" So anyway, I'm laying in bed, and I've just finished my last song at Pitch Perfect Recording Studio with Steve Goody, and I'm trying to come up with a name for the album, right? And my friend is asleep in the other bed, and it's like midnight, 1 o'clock. And I jump up and I scream, "The power of 10!" And he's like, what? You know, what's going on? I was like, that's what I'm going to name my CD. He said, "Are you serious? You woke me up for that?" I was like, no, really, this is so incredibly cool. The power of 10. Because I finished it October, which is the 10th month, on the 10th day of the 10th year with 10 tracks on it. I completed my very first CD, so that's why I called it The Power of 10.
Wow.
And there's 10 commandments. Mm-hmm.
The power of 10.
The Power of 10. And you can actually Google that one, too.
Google that shit.
And now you've got 10 boring questions.
And now I got to answer 10 questions from a man.
Well, let's start with number 1, woman.
Can't we start with 10 and go backwards, or do we have to start at 1? Can we start with number 5?
We could. What do you want? Pick one. Pick a number between 1 and 10, and that's where we'll
But
start.
you got to remember which numbers you've chose, because we won't.
Okay, let's just start with 1 then, because there's 3 of us here. So.
All right, numero uno. What is your favorite word?
Blessing.
What is your least favorite word?
I beg your pardon?
Well, I couldn't put emojis and hashtags and exclamation points, dirty words. So hate is my least favorite word. Seriously, hate. The word hate, H-A-T-E, least favorite word in the world. I don't think that anything like that should exist.
What turns you on?
Haha. Really, really good music. really good music, the kind of music that just that raises the hair on your arms and lights a fire in your eyes, where you can just feel it. That's boom right there. Yes, sir.
What I call reaching the chill factor.
Well, that was me thinking he was going to say your pool-playing husband that gets it in the right hole the first time.
Yeah. Well, I thought about that, and then I'm like, well, maybe we've exceeded our rated PG-21 standard here.
Not on the internet.
Yeah, it's legal if it's on the internet.
It's true,
Okay.
too. Number 4,
Yeah.
what turns you off?
Oh, what turns me off? People who think they're better than everybody else and treat people mean. That's like meanies and bullies. Yeah, that would be it. Meanies and bullies who pick on people who are less fortunate. Mm-hmm.
Number 5, what sound do you love?
The guitar. No, my husband's voice telling me he loves me.
What sound do you hate?
Fingernails going across the chalkboard and my alarm clock.
Oh.
that's like, yeah. Oh, okay. Sounds fingernails on a chalkboard.
What's your favorite drink?
Sweet tea.
What profession other than yours would you like to attempt?
What profession other than what I'm currently doing now would I like to do? I don't know. I'm pretty happy. Yeah, no, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Probably nothing else.
Fair
no,
enough.
I'm good.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What profession would you not like to do?
A proctologist. That was easy.
Oh, I guess that's better than a gynecologist. Number
Yeah.
10, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Welcome home, my child. Well done.
That's it. That's all I got. Excellent.
Oh, wow.
Excellent.
Fair enough.
And you missed number 7. What's your favourite drink?
I asked her that.
Did you? What did she say then?
Oh, because I didn't say anything alcoholic. That's probably why it just went, woo, wait a minute.
Even I missed that one.
What? Okay, I didn't hear you right. You said what? You said sweet tea? Are you serious?
Oh, yes, you did say sweet tea. Yes, you did.
I know she
remember.
did.
I was there thinking, who in the world likes a cold cup of tea? What kind of Brit
You're right.
are you?
No, I've had plenty of adventures with Coors Light and other beverages, but I'm finding that I play pool a lot better when I'm not drinking. you for some reason, you can see a lot better, and you can drive a lot better when you're not drinking. And there's a lot of things you can do when you're not drinking.
Have you ever in your life tried to smoke weed?
Yes, I did, and I inhaled, and then I went to a war and became allergic to it. Imagine that.
Well, thank you,
I
Mr.
can't
President.
even leave the room with it. Yes, I did. I'm not a fan. Except for the CBD oil that they've now come up with, which is derived from the plant of the marijuana. I don't even know how to say it.
Okay, one more question, and we'll get out of here and we'll let you go.
Sure.
Now that Oklahoma's passed their marijuana law, what do you think about that? And you don't have to go into a big long explanation. I mean, are you okay with it or not?
I believe that if it'll help people with illnesses, then I'm a fan for it. But I don't think anything should be abused. Power, drugs, anything.
To me, that's just common sense. I agree with you 100%.
Right. Common sense. Don't abuse it. Because it always takes that one stupid person to screw it up for everybody else.
That seems to be something that parents have lacked teaching their children, is just common sense. It seems to have gone out the
Common sense.
window.
Right.
But that's
exactly.
just me.
Okay.
We're done on this end, I think. You got anything to add there, Britsky?
One final question.
Oh, beware.
And then Randy will flush you down the toilet.
Okay.
If you could write a song about the Yankee and the Brit, what would you call it?
If I could write a song about the Yankee and the Brit, what would I call it?
Yes.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. No. Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Wait till Jack Nicholson gets a load of that.
All right. Oh, yeah, gosh, I don't know. Let me write one, and I'll get back to you on that.
Uh-oh.
Write it out. Give us some music. We'll sing it.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah, we'll sing it for you.
Yeah, Two of a Kind. Oh, Garth Brooks song, Two of a Kind, working on a Full House. But see, somebody already wrote that, so that wouldn't be really fair, would it? Ooh, I bet you know the song Country Bumpkin. That would be you guys' song.
Now, Jack Nabbit.
She said, "Hello, Country Bumpkin." Because you're from Texas, right, sir?
No, ma'am, I am not.
No.
No, ma'am. I am from
Where did you
Ohio.
Ohio.
Yep,
Wow.
round on each end and high in the middle.
That's great. Oh. Well, guys, I have really had a good time talking to you tonight. This is such an honor to be able to get on here and
just be
visit
yourself.
with you guys. Yeah, and no pressure.
That's
Just
exactly
get
what
on.
we try to attain, is for somebody to come and just be themselves and, say whatever you want to say. And, we don't press and pry, personal
Oh,
things,
yes, you
nobody's
do.
business. And you stay out of this. Other than that, we have two more songs of yours to play. We have Kneel at the Cross and What's Wrong with That? Or Closing
That's what's
Time.
wrong with that. Yep.
I don't know which one. We'll do two of them. And then, after that, Niecy has her request for Donna and I singing Love Shack. So if you want to hang around and listen to that, of course, you're more than welcome to.
Oh, how fun.
Oh,
Well, yeah, like I said, I really appreciate you guys having me on the show. Without you guys, we would just fall through the cracks of the political incorrectness of the music industry these days. So, I mean, you guys are a big help to us. You support us, and we support you, and we make it work. And then we're all coming together as a music family, supporting each other. There's there shouldn't be a competition between this. We should all help each other out and lift each other up and support each other.
That's right.
And
we try to do what we can.
Most honestly. Yeah. I mean, you guys didn't even know what you're getting yourself into when you got me on the station, but you said, "Hey, let's give her a go." And I was like, "Hi."
Boy, do we know now.
Yeah, do that again.
Well, thank you, my dear. Thank you very much for spending some time with us and letting us get to know you a little better.
Well, you're very welcome anytime. Maybe in a couple months, invite me back on the show. And
Absolutely.
I would love
And you're
to
welcome
more.
to pick up the phone and call us during any show and just give us some crap or talk about something important, share a CD, whatever.
Okay.
We're
That
always
sounds
here.
great, yeah.
Okay.
And I need to go get that Google That, which is T-shirt.
Google that shit.
Yeah. I love it.
Thank you very much. Take care of yourself.
You're very welcome, and I'm going to let you guys go for the night. My truck driving hubby's home, so I'm going to go visit with him a little bit. But I really do appreciate you guys.
Truck driver. I drove truck for 20 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think he's starting on his 17th year. You guys would have a lot to talk about. Maybe we'll put him on the radio next time.
I can't stand it now. I wouldn't even go near a truck with the ELD and all that garbage. Not a
Oh,
chance.
those E-logs are like, wow.
No big brother breathing over my shoulder. I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to do it right. And if you don't trust me, I'm not working for you. Plain and simple.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like if you sneeze in the truck, the E-log kicks on.
And the last thing I would do is get in one. Last thing I would do is get in one with a camera. Not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
If I want to pick my nose going down the road, I'm going to do it in private.
Exactly. That's between you and God.
Between me and my finger.
Can you not pick your nose and
okay.
then wave your bogey up at the camera? Hey, look what I got.
I would.
Yeah, wipe it on the lens.
I'd get fired very quickly.
Probably so.
Okay,
Anyway.
gotta go.
Okay. You guys have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you, love. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
You're
listening to the Yankee and the Brit on the RTM radio network. Don't make me say it again.